It's the 49ers bye week. I've got good news for you. I've got bad news for you. First round of games is finished. I guess some of the good news, we're doing this from Cabo. Lighting is a little funky, but I could lean out of the way and you could see the Pacific Ocean. This is the Viceroy Resort in Cabo. This was the last minute trip that we had planned here over the bye week. We wanted to stay close-ish so we could track who the 49ers are watching this weekend. And I just finished watching Seattle and Atlanta. And boy, the Falcons do not give the 49ers any help whatsoever. The game has gone final. You could see down here, 37-9 Seahawks over the Falcons. I knew that this game was over the moment that Atlanta decided to kick a field goal when they were down 17 in the fourth quarter. And it was 4th and 2 from the Seahawks 9-yard line. So the 49ers can say thanks for absolutely nothing, Atlanta. They don't help. And, it's made even worse. This is some of the bad news for the 49ers on top of the bad news that the Seahawks won. So the 49ers, it's very likely they'll have to beat Seattle in week 18 for playoff positioning and maybe even to get into the playoffs. We'll see what happens. That game's at Levi's, but they don't pass the Seahawks today on their bye week because Seattle wins 37-9. But Atlanta, they made a trade with the Los Angeles Rams in the NFL draft, this past draft, because they wanted to draft a James Pierce Jr. out of Tennessee. Atlanta traded for the number 26 pick late in the first round with the Rams. In doing so, the Falcons gave up their 2026 first round pick. And the worse record the Falcons have, the better that pick will be. The Rams now own that first round pick, so the Rams might pick in the top 10, despite the fact that they're on track to be a top seed this year in the NFC playoffs. So if you're a 49ers fan, you can be absolutely disgusted by that. The Falcons finding ways to hurt the 49ers in two different ways with their loss to the Seattle Seahawks today. They are now 4-9, the Falcons are. And that means that they're well on their way toward a pretty high draft spot in 2026, but the Rams now own that pick. There was some very interesting news that I think changes the complexion of the 49ers' last 4 games, and that is Daniel Jones. It looks like he tore his Achilles. He was immediately ruled out with a non-contact Achilles injury. That is the Indianapolis Colts quarterback. That game has also now gone final. The Colts have lost to Jacksonville. So the Colts now firmly in second place in the AFC South. But remember that the 49ers had a showdown, or still have a showdown, with the Indianapolis Colts in much colder weather than this, although that game is going to be inside, set for December 22nd. Just a few weeks ago, ahead of the trade deadline, the Colts were on their way to what appeared to be the number 1 seed. It looked like that would be one of the toughest tests on the 49ers schedule. But then they decided to very, very curiously trade 2 first-round picks for a cornerback for Sauce Gardner ahead of the trade deadline. They've started sliding since then. Daniel Jones, their starting quarterback, the QB of the leading offense in all football entering this week, was playing today with a hairline fracture in his leg. And I don't know if that was related to the torn Achilles today or the potential torn Achilles. We'll see once that's confirmed. I don't know if that was related to the injury that knocked Daniel Jones out or not. But he's gone, at least for the time being. And the Colts, because Anthony Richardson's already hurt, he broke his orbital bone. That's an eye bone in October. The Colts had to go to the rookie, Riley Leonard, out of Notre Dame, and he wasn't very good. 18 of 29, 145 yards, 60.3 rating. They got smoked by Jacksonville. So that 49ers game on December 22nd at Indianapolis, the complexion of that has completely changed. The Colts were almost certainly going to be favored in that game. Now the 49ers will almost certainly be favored unless Daniel Jones is miraculously okay. But even if he's not, he already had the fracture, so he's not going to be healthy regardless of the Achilles. And it's almost certain, it seems, that this is going to shelve him for months. there's no way that the Colts can be favored over the 49ers anymore. Riley Leonard or Anthony Richardson are not going to be favored over Brock Purdy or Mac Jones. And you can knock on wood that it's Brock Purdy, that he stays healthy. So the 49ers play the Tennessee Titans next week. The Titans, we could check on the score of that game right now. They're currently ahead of the Cleveland Browns and Shedeur Sanders, although that game isn't over yet. Here, this is the 49ers' next opponent, Tennessee. The 1-11 Titans. The 49ers will be heavily favored over Tennessee. At the moment, I think it's a 12.5-point line. They were probably slated to be underdogs the week after on Monday Night Football against the Colts. But the 49ers will likely now be favorites against the Colts as well. And that sets up the final 2-game stretch against the Bears and then the Seahawks, who beat the Rams today. How's this going? Titans 31, Browns 23. It's two terrible teams playing against each other. It's a bunch of people on the internet trying to make hot takes right now about Shedeur Sanders and Cam Ward. And, you could probably make better takes about Cam Ward off of this game since he's actually facing a good defense, unlike Shedeur Sanders, who's facing the 1-11 Titans. It looks like Cleveland has the ball with a chance to tie. They're at the Tennessee 45-yard line with 2:36 to go. So we'll keep an eye on that game. Either Tennessee is coming in at 1-12 or they're coming in at 2-11. Either way, the 49ers are going to be heavy, heavy favorites against the Titans. Other very, very important news. This is happening back in California, or has happened back in California. We are going to congratulate Alan Lombardi. Yes, that is my dad. He has qualified for the Boston Marathon with an epic finish in the Sacramento Capital City Marathon, 4 hours and 2 seconds. He's not 70 years old yet, but in 2 years, he'll be able to participate in the Boston Marathon at age 70. 4 hours, 15 minutes was the qualifying time. He's already run the Boston Marathon, but now he has requalified with an epic time in the Sacramento Marathon. So congratulations to my dad, Alan Lombardi, running very successfully. He had already broken 3 hours or 4 hours before in the marathon at Ventura. This time he was 2 seconds off of breaking 4 hours, but he needed to be 4 hours, 15 minutes, and he got the job done. So that's some of the good news here from the 49ers bye week. We got more too, up on the San Francisco Standard right now, have the big article, and I'm going to link this in the description. You can go ahead and check it out. This dropped this morning. This is the inside look at the 49ers offense, the analytics inside look. So even out here in Cabo, trying to stay on top of the very in-depth 49ers analysis, we can talk about some of this stuff. But as you can see, this is probably why you should sign up. We are taking a look at every single facet of that 49ers offense and identifying what they have to do better, or what they've already done well so far. I mean, this is the most in-depth 49ers coverage you are going to get. So I'm going to open it up for some questions. I know that there's more football still today. Here at the resort, they actually have a movie theater and they're playing Sunday Night Football. So we'll get to watch the Chiefs and the Texans on the movie screen. That will be neat tonight. This afternoon, I could put on the Rams and the Cardinals. The Rams are obviously heavy favorites, but just in case the Rams lose, the 49ers can climb up even further today in the NFC standings. The Bears and the Packers are going to be playing this afternoon. That's kicking off in about 3 minutes. Regardless of the outcome of that game, the 49ers will move up in the NFC standings. They either pass the Packers or they pass the Bears, depending on who loses. That will move the 49ers from the number 7 spot where they currently reside to number 6. I could even show you how that will work. We'll put it right here up on the screen. Here are the NFC standings at the moment. So as you can see, Green Bay is 8-3-1. Chicago is 9-3. The 49ers are at 9-4, right behind those two teams. If Green Bay loses, so if the Bears win, the 49ers will hop over 8-4-1. Green Bay. If Chicago loses, the 49ers will hop over 9-4 Chicago. The 49ers won't go all the way to the 2 seed because they won't be in first place in their division. The Seattle Seahawks stay ahead of the 49ers with their win. In fact, the Seahawks right now at the current moment as we speak have the number 1 seed. But the Rams can take that, and the Bears can take that right back from them, depending on what happens this afternoon. Those games all starting here in just a couple of minutes. We're waiting for Titans and Browns to finish, and then Tennessee will prepare to head out to the Bay Area to face the 49ers next week. So either way, the 49ers are going to hop over either the Packers or the Chicago Bears. The loser of that game will drop to number 7. The 49ers will move up to 6, unless the Rams also lose. And if the Rams also lose this afternoon, the 49ers will take that number 5 spot from the Rams. But they cannot move up into the top 4 because Seattle has won earlier today. No help from the Atlanta Falcons, who are also helping the Rams get some better draft positioning. That article I'm telling you about up on the San Francisco Standard, go into everything. This right here is one of my favorite graphics of the year, because I think this is huge as far as a trend for the 49ers moving into the final 4 games of this season. Take a look at their run offense weeks 1 to 6 before they played the Falcons, coincidentally, the team that wouldn't help them today. But in weeks 1 to 6, the 49ers run offense ranked number 27 in efficiency. That's expected points added per play. And number 23 in success rate. Success rate is the percentage of plays that generate a positive EPA. So that they were ranked in the bottom part of the league in terms of the run game without George Kittle while he had that hamstring strain. Since week 7, the 49ers have ranked in the top 5 or in the top 8. And in the case of success rate, so you can see here in the bottom right, in the top 5 of run game. This is what my big article up on the San Francisco Standard gets at. We're taking a look at some of the very, very important 49ers performance splits to identify what this team needs to do better down the stretch, how this team can deliver the elite offense it needs to deliver to get to where they need to be. And, well, they've got the bedrock of a solid run game now, thanks to the fact that George Kittle is back. Now, one more hinge point for the 49ers offense has got to be Ricky Pearsall. This is the yards per route run for San Francisco. Blue is good, red is bad. It is absolutely insane that the 49ers have a top 10 offense right now, despite the fact that they don't have a single wide receiver ranking above average in yards per route run. And yards per route run is going to be a lot smarter way to look at things than just raw catch totals or raw yardage totals. You want guys in the blue. The league median is 1.77. The only 2 targets the 49ers have above 1.77 in terms of yards per route run, Christian McCaffrey and George Kittle. Back in 2023, when the 49ers had a juggernaut of an offense, they had 2 receivers over 2.00. They had Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuel over 2. This year, they have no one over 2. They have McCaffrey and George Kittle right near there, above league average. But the wideout position has not given the 49ers enough. So I think of 2 possible solutions for this for San Francisco. One is Brandon Ayuk comes back and helps the 49ers develop some of the space they need. They rank number 23 in average separation at the time of catcher and completion. So missing Brandon Ayuk has obviously hurt a lot. 2, the 49ers can also see Ricky Pearsall return to form. He was well above 2 yards per route run in weeks 1 to 4 before he got hurt. He's only caught 4 passes over the course of the 3 games that he's returned. So I don't expect Ayuk to be back for the 49ers. I'm realistic about that. But I think that Ricky Pearsall is the potential difference maker to hinge this forward for the 49ers offense so they have a much more balanced, explosive, and efficient set of receiving production. Because the run game is there. The run game is back, thanks to George Kittle. The offensive line is also there. Look how well the offensive line has played, especially in terms of run blocking. You need your receivers to deliver better in terms of pass catching and in run blocking if you're the 49ers. So you've got the line, you've got the quarterback, you've got the best QB in the league in terms of avoiding sacks with Brock Purdy, but you don't currently have the receiving production that you need to take pressure off of Christian McCaffrey and George Kittle. So I think that the key X factor for the 49ers down the stretch, since we don't expect Brandon Ayuk back with this team, is Ricky Pearsall needs to step up and turn into that space-making wide receiver that he was in weeks 1 to 4. That's what can push the 49ers offense into the top 5 of the NFL. And I think that's what they're going to need if this team is going to deliver the way that we know they can. I mean, with Brock Purdy at the quarterback position playing the way that he is right now, I got to open up the team tier chart. And it looks like the Browns scored a touchdown, but they failed on the 2-point conversion. So it looks like the Titans, I don't know how many timeouts the Browns have. Let me look. Oh, they have 2 timeouts. Yeah, but they won't be able to get it back. There's only 1:03 left. So barring an onside kick recovery for Cleveland, the Browns will lose. The Titans will improve to 2-11, and the 49ers and Titans is all set for next week coming out of the bye. Hello, everybody from the Viceroy. We're in Cabo. I'll answer some questions in a little bit. I'm waiting for this round of games to fully end. I think that the team tier chart is very necessary to get up on the screen for you guys. So give me just 1 second. We're going to go over to Ben Baldwin's website, retrieve the data that we need to retrieve, create a screenshot, and toss it up, because this is our ultimate visual reset, right? After every single game, we can always take a look at this, take a look at where the teams are, and it helps us make some sense out of all of these different matchups. Who's strong where, who upset whom. Here we go. Team tiers. This doesn't include the morning games yet, by the way, but here we are. You want to be further to the right and further up. Looks like Tennessee got the ball back, so unless they fumble or something, this is going to be over in Cleveland. 31 points for the Titans against the Browns. So the 49ers have moved to better and better positioning over the past 3 weeks. The defense is moving them up on this chart. Defense is measured on the y-axis. Funny enough, the 49ers are in a very similar spot to the Bears, whom they're going to play on December 28th. The great offense that I was talking about, the Indianapolis Colts, they've now lost their quarterback, Daniel Jones. So Riley Leonard, the rookie out of Notre Dame, the 6th-round pick, you got to wonder, where is this Colts offense without Daniel Jones, with a rookie running the show? And unless he's a rookie Brock Purdy, I think the Colts move significantly to the left, like way over here to the left. They still have Jonathan Taylor, but hard for me to believe that this Indianapolis offense, and when we saw it today, they did not have a good game with Riley Leonard in there against Jacksonville. You have to think that Indianapolis is average at best now offensively, and the 49ers are moving further and further to the right with a larger sample for Brock Purdy. So if Indianapolis moves here and the 49ers move here, all of a sudden the 49ers are a tier ahead of Indy, and the 49ers are going to be favored on December 22nd. So that's a huge, huge development for the 49ers as far as their schedule moving forward, because we had said that these 4 games to close the season, the Titans game was going to be the quote-unquote easy win for the 49ers. Tennessee's not good. They're going to be 2-11 in all likelihood headed to Levi's. So that was going to be the game where the 49ers are firm favorites, but then it was going to be a toss-up at best over the last 3 games, because you had the Colts, who, with Daniel Jones, we're on track to be favored against the 49ers. You had the Bears, who are playing good football right now, had the number 1 seed entering today. They're starting against the Packers right now. You had them in the 49ers tier, and then you had the Seattle Seahawks, who just blew out the Atlanta Falcons, who obviously are going to be a tough matchup at the end of the regular season. So it was, and it still is, projecting to be one of the most compelling 3-game regular season stretches ever under Kyle Shanahan. But it's just gotten a whole lot easier with that Daniel Jones injury. 4th and 10 at the Cleveland 46 for the Titans. So I'm guessing they're going to punt. No more timeouts for Cleveland. They need to make sure they get the punt off cleanly. And then the Browns are going to have, 40 seconds to try to move into field goal range. So I guess Shedeur Sanders is going to have an opportunity to play hero, but I'll answer some of your questions as we wait for this first round of games to end. New member, Jared Holmes. Thanks, Jared. Sorry, guys, about the weird lighting here. If you guys want to take a look at how this looks, I'm going to stand up so you could see the view without me blocking it. There you go. We are at the Viceroy in Cabo, and I could even Rotate that a little bit. Yeah, there you go. I think that's there's a sushi restaurant right there in the hut. Lombardi herself is sitting at the pool very happily today. And obviously we've got the beach here. There are like 3 or 4 different restaurants on the property. And they, like I said, they've got a movie theater where they're going to be playing Sunday Night Football and then Monday Night Football. So I think this is the perfect spot. Last minute 49ers bye week trip. I can even show you guys the little juxtaposition that we had today. So here you go. The snow game in Buffalo on the screen. And then you got the view. See, that's the little table where I'm doing the live. It has gone final in Cleveland. The Browns beat the Titans 31. The Titans beat the Browns 31-29, which means that the Titans are going to be 2-11 heading to Levi's, and the 49ers heavily favored for next week's game. I'm kind of here. I can get the camera to track me. There we go. Now I'm going to be in the middle of the screen no matter what. All right, I'm ready to answer your questions now. Back in our seat. The Rams and the Cardinals have started. We'll have to do an emergency video in case that ends up being an upset. Arizona, though, has taken a 7-0 lead over the Rams. My, oh my. Atlanta took a 3-0 lead over the Seahawks and then a 6-3 lead, but that didn't mean much. So we'll keep an eye on it. But the Cardinals early in this game do have a touchdown lead over the Rams. And this is the league. It's anything can happen on any given Sunday. Again, if the Rams lose this game, the 49ers will leapfrog the Rams, and this would be the best possible outcome. If you had to have one outcome break in the 49ers' favor today, this would be the one that you would ask for, because the Rams are 9-3, and the 49ers do not play the Rams anymore in this regular season. So they need help. They need somebody to beat LA. I know next week you've got the Lions playing the Rams at SoFi Stadium, and then you've got the Rams headed to Seattle for Thursday Night Football. So there will be some opportunities for the Rams to lose. But if they lose unexpectedly to Arizona, that would be the best possible news of today for the 49ers. The Rams would drop to 9-4. The 49ers hold the tiebreaker over the Rams. They have a 4-4 conference record, LA does, and the 49ers have an 8-2 conference record. So San Francisco would jump up to the 5 seed, with the Rams dropping down to the 7 seed, I believe, because their conference record is worse than Chicago's and worse than Green Bay. So the 49ers, right now, as we speak, LA is the 5 seed. The 49ers are the 7 seed. If LA wins, they're going to jump back up to either the 1 or the 2. But if they lose, they're going to be down to the 7. It just goes to show you, and I can put this up on the screen in case that would help visualize things. This just goes to show you how insanely tight the NFC is at the very top. I mean, the fact that the Rams might end this day at the 1 or the 7, and right now they're at the 5, like at this exact moment, that's crazy. I mean, the 7 seed currently has 9 wins, and that's the 49ers. So the NFC is as loaded and as filled with parity as we have ever seen it. It is truly, truly remarkable, because the AFC, I mean, there's parity in the AFC too, but not quite what we're seeing in the NFC. In the AFC, you've got an 8-win team at the number 7 spot, but in the NFC, it is a 9-win 49ers team on a bye in number 7. All right, let's go for some questions here from Cabo. I want some good ones. I don't see any good ones. And if I don't get any good questions, then we'll wrap this up at about 30 minutes, and I'm going to head down to the beach to catch some sun to end the day. I don't see anybody ask here. Ryan Jones asked something. Why are 49ers fans required to hate all the team's players because the media tells us? I don't hate BA or Purdy. I want him back. I don't know. I don't tell you guys to hate anybody. You just have to choose who you watch. I mean, you could get cool backgrounds like one here in Cabo and actual good 49ers analysis, or you could just get people yelling at a camera in their basement. And the people that are just sitting yelling in basements typically are a little bit more negative. So take whatever they say with a grain of salt. But I am the media. You say not me, but the media. I take pride in being more honest than a lot of the media, more objective than a lot of the media. But still, I would say that I'm part of the media. So anyway, thank you for saying that I'm not the media. But that would be my answer to your question. Do I think the 49ers will trade Mac in 2026? Yeah, probably. And they're probably going to be able to get a good haul for Mac Jones. There is a lot of money out there if we did gambling ads, and I really appreciate that you noticed that we got offered large sums of money this year before the season started, and we turned every offer down. We are not going to pollute this channel with gambling ads. We don't have an agenda here. It's kind of comical. Everybody's got their little gambling sticker now on their Twitter and on their YouTube. We're not going down that route. We know that a lot of you, just want your 49ers news and your 49ers content and your 49ers analysis free of all that kind of stuff. So I really do appreciate those of you who have noticed that we have said no to all the gambling. But you should also support the companies that do sponsor us. And I know we don't have a sponsor on this particular show, but often we do. And we choose our partners very, very carefully on the channel. So thank you guys for noticing. That means a lot. If you want to support the channel, please do subscribe. We are currently at 95,383 subscribers. We're trying to get to 100,000, 384. Somebody just hit subscribe. So hit that sub button. Trying to get to 100,000 here by the end of the season. Jim Schwartz starting to look for houses in Silicon Valley. I mean, Robert Saleh would have to be hired for a head coaching job, which is not a foregone conclusion. You never know, and we wish Robert the best, but I think the 49ers would love to keep him for at least one more year. He's been really, really good. Are you able to gift members? I don't know. Google that. Maybe Mike will know. It's Carlos. We'll say what's up to Carlos. Yeah, check to see if you can on Google. But, you can always... Yeah, I guess it would be hard to you could Venmo somebody. Hey, go get a membership of David Lombardi's channel. I'll Venmo you $8 or however much it costs. Ryan, I got your intel there. I don't want to put Brant Boyer on blast though, so I'm not going to repeat that, but anybody in the comment section can read it. Brant Boyer, 49ers special teams coordinator, has done an insanely good job this year. I mean, the punt protections, the schematics of the returns, the coverage has gotten better for the 49ers. You got to give Boyer a whole heck of a lot of credit. The Seahawks had a 100-yard kick return for a touchdown today, Rashid Shaheed. So I think that Seattle is probably going to stay number one special teams over the 49ers. That holds off the 49ers for a bit, but San Francisco's been charging hard. They lead by a mile if you exclude week one against the Seahawks. One of the reasons the Seahawks special teams ranks number one is because they got to play the 49ers in week one when the 49ers were missing those field goals. So the special teams EPA hurt the 49ers that week and boosted Seattle's. The Rams managed a field goal at 7-3. So I'll tell you guys what, we're going to do an emergency live or emergency video if the Rams lose to the Cardinals this afternoon. Maybe we'll do a video anyway because the 49ers are going to rise up the pecking order, I guess I should say, regardless, because the winner of Packers-Bears is going to send a loser below the 49ers. But that's the morning. The takeaways this morning are the Colts have lost their starting quarterback, Daniel Jones. The 49ers should be favored on December 22nd. That's huge news for San Francisco. The Seahawks have beaten the Falcons. That sucks for the 49ers, and also bad because the Rams own the Falcons' first-round draft pick, and the worse the Falcons do, the higher that pick will be. They're currently 4-9, Atlanta is, so the Rams may have a top 10 pick, and now we're waiting to see what happens between Rams and Arizona, and obviously between the Bears and the Packers. So everybody, thanks for watching. So long from Cabo. We'll be back to you from Cabo. Hit that subscribe button. Working overtime here on the bye week. Bye week vacation. What of you, right? We'll talk to you guys soon.